In this video, we're going to take a look at Ohm's law. So by the end of this video, you're going to be able to explain the relationship between voltage, current, and resistance, and also to be able to apply Ohm's law to solve for either voltage, current, or resistance in any kind of problem. Now, what is Ohm's law? Well, Ohm himself was a scientist that observed the many relationships between voltage, current, and resistance. Remember, voltage is like the force pushing our current through the circuit, and then our resistance is providing or slowing down both the voltage and the current in our circuit. Now, what is Ohm's law? So Ohm's law is basically a mathematical relationship to describe how voltage, current, and resistance are related to one another. So the equation that we need is V equals I times R. So V is the voltage, and that is in the units of volts. I is the current, and that's in the unit amps. And then R in this equation is resistance, and that's in the unit ohms. So we can, if we have two out of these three variables, we can rearrange our equation to solve for the other third one and figure it out just from knowing two out of three of these. So you can have V equals I times R, or if we rearrange for I, we're going to have then V over R. And then if we rearrange for R, we'd have V over I. So let's take a look at how this works in a problem. So we've got an example here. We have a current of 4.0 amps that flows through a resistor of 40 ohms. What is the voltage of the circuit? It's always a good idea to start out by listing what we know. We know that the current I is 4.0 amps. We know that the resistance R is 40 ohms. We don't know what V is. That's what we're trying to solve for. So using our equation V equals I times R, if we substitute in I is 4.0 and R is 40, and if we do this problem here, then we get 160, and because we're solving for V, that's volts. Okay, so that would be our answer. The voltage is 160 volts. Looking at a second example, we have a voltage of 60 volts flowing at a rate of 5.0 amps. What is the resistance of the circuit? So let's start out again. We know what voltage is. That's 60 volts. We know what our current is, I, which is 5.0 amps, and we're trying to solve for R. So we do need to rearrange our V equals I times R. If we divide both sides by I, then R is going to be equal to V divided by I. Okay. And so if we substitute in our numbers, our voltage is 60 volts. Our amps is 5.0 amps. And solving this gives us 12. And remember, since this is our units are going to be in ohms. So that's 12 ohms. Okay. So you can solve for any variable using Ohm's law as long as you know the other two ones. That's it for this video. Let's move on to our next task.